What's going on, everyone? Jim here from The Quartering, and some news about Russell Brand today that I wanted to talk about. He's somebody that's always been kind to me. He's been somebody on the front lines of speaking truth to power. He's found Christianity. He's basically been living a pretty good life the past couple of years. And today, he was charged with a crime based on hearsay from 26 years ago. 26 years ago, a he said, she said case. He has now been charged with a horrible crime, a crime that will ruin his life, a crime that will take everything from him. This is a man that has been maligned, has been demonetized, has been censored, and I'm a firm believer in innocent until proven guilty. If he's guilty, so be it. My problem is, how on earth are they going to be able to prove this? A he said, she said from 1995. They know they can't prove it because the process is the punishment. Russell Brand has never been shy about sharing that he did live a pretty degenerate lifestyle while he was in Hollywood. And I'm not saying that there's no possibility that this happened, okay? And if it did, I sure hope there's evidence. I feel like there isn't going to be evidence, that there's going to be he said, she said, and this is about ruining him, but bringing him to heel. Over the past 5 or 6 years, you've heard a lot about Russell Brand. But I think the reason for that, and maybe I'm wrong, again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. The problem is, we're never going to know. There's no possible way that they have any physical evidence from 26 years ago. There's no video footage. There's nothing. Yet the UK found it enough to charge this man with a heinous crime. Now, could it have coincided with the fact that he has found Christ in a nation whose most popular new child name last year was Mohammed? Could it have been that he spent the last few years since the lockdown speaking against Big Pharma? Could it have been that he is a free speech activist in a country that has 30 arrests a day on average of people who make social media posts? Is it possible that he's being railroaded? I think so. Again, it's certainly possible that he did these things, but I have looked at the evidence and it is extremely thin. Their investigation, I believe, was meant to discredit him, to hurt his reputation, to hurt his ability to earn money, to hurt his ability to share his newfound love of Christ, to hurt his ability to speak out against authoritarianism, for free speech. He's supposed to appear now in front of a judge on January 20th of this year to answer for 2 additional charges. Russell Brand, at the top of Hollywood, good-looking guy, good charisma. Seems unlikely that he have to take anything by force. Maybe he did. And if he did, may he be found guilty. Okay? Russell Brand's been nothing but nice to me. And obviously, I've only really known him after he got off the drugs and after he found Christ and after he became a free speech advocate and someone who speaks out against Big Pharma. It's possible, but what have they said? What is the evidence? Well, the BBC looked into these allegations that he did certain things. Channel 4 and the television production also looked into his conduct while he was working for them, and they found concerns about his behavior were not properly escalated or adequately addressed. However, Channel 4 at the time found no evidence that anyone was aware of any accusations about him. Testimony was gathered from multiple women from 1999. 1999, that's 26 years ago. And 2005, 20 years ago. 20 and 26 years ago. That's all the evidence they have. He said, she said from 26 years ago. And now they've charged him with taking a woman against her will. Did he do it 26 years ago? I don't know. But I do know that there is 0% chance that they'll be able to, they have any real evidence. This is a country that had just arrested Graham Linehan, right? I believe not that long ago for a joke. If I remember correctly, arrested over a social media post. UK comedy writer Graham Linehan, arrested over a social media post criticizing trans activists. That was 2 months ago. He got off the plane in Heathrow. Linehan was met by 5 armed officers who told him that he was being arrested over X posts. Quote, in a country where peds escape sentencing, where knife crime is out of control, where women who are attacked every day gather time to speak, the state had mobilized 5 armed officers to arrest a comedy writer for this tweet. And no, I promise you, I'm not making this up. One of the posts he wrote was, quote, if a trans-identified male is in a female-only space, he is committing an abusive act. He then said those encountering such a scenario should make a phone call to police or even punch the offender. The UK arrested him for that. Harry Potter creator J.K. Rowling, who's also an outspoken critic of trans activism, slammed the arrest, writing, what the F has UK become? This is totalitarianism. Utterly deplorable. This is a country that hates free speech because when you allow free speech, people hear the truth. You think I'm joking that Mohammed was the most popular child's name last year in the UK? It wasn't. It was. It was the most popular name. It overtook Noah as the most popular boy's name. Is it a bunch of UK whites naming their kids Mohammed? No, obviously. Right? So a man that recently found Christ, who has openly spoken about how he was saved and evangelizes that in a country that has willingly been conquered by Muslim hordes, gets arrested. Is it a coincidence? Maybe. Again, I don't know. I wasn't there. But the problem is they know they will never be able to present any real evidence. The only reason they are pressing these charges is to smear his name because he's more popular than ever. He's a free speech warrior. He speaks out against big pharma. He is a positive voice for Jesus Christ. Meanwhile, the UK, on average, arrests 30 people per day. That's 12,000 people a year for social media posts. 30 arrests a day of what they deem to be offensive online posts, retweets, or cartoons. You can get arrested for a retweet in the UK. That's what they don't want you talking about. They don't want you to talk about the number one son's name in the UK being Mohammed. They don't want to tell you about the UK arresting 12,000 people a year for likes and retweets on X. They don't want to talk about the knife crime. They don't want to talk about the grooming gangs. They want you to talk about Russell Brand, what some woman said Russell Brand did 26 years ago. I wasn't there. I'll never know if it happened. But that's not the point. The point is they know it didn't happen. They know that they cannot prove that it happened. There is no evidence of it happening. It's he said, she said, and their only goal is to smear his name and hurt his message about free speech, about how Christ saved him, about how big pharma is not your friend. This man, I mean, again, I'm not going to say he was an angel 30 years ago, but they sure didn't seem to have a problem with his behavior when he was promoting Hollywood propaganda, did they? They didn't have a problem with him being a degenerate, as he's admitted, when he was starring in their movies and telling other people degeneracy was okay. Now that he's talking about Christ, now that he's talking about free speech, suddenly 26 years later, some woman said, you know, she didn't want to give him a blowy or something like that, and she did anyway. Again, I don't know. I can't know if this happened. Everyone just assumes that it happened because it's in the headlines. I don't know. They don't know. The people bringing charges against Russell Brand don't know. They don't have any evidence. They don't. If they did, they would have charged him 25 years ago because it's a heinous crime that should be prosecuted. They don't have any evidence of this. They're more concerned with everyone talking about Russell Brand than their country being conquered by foreign invaders, about their own totalitarian government putting their thumb on their own people for speaking out against it. I don't know how this case is going to shake out, but I do know they don't have a damn thing on him, and this is simply another case of the process being the punishment. Russell Brand is innocent until proven guilty, and should I be proven wrong and they have some sort of evidence, I will absolutely make the video recanting it. But for as all it looks right now is yet another witch hunt at a loud voice who's for free speech against Big Pharma and for Christ saving people. That's what it looks like to me. Maybe we'll see.